will always be a genius, but he's very reclusive, and I was blown away by his work. You know, he was definitely an early influence. He was doing comic strips, you know, years before Underground comics came out, you know. Then he did a lot of other artwork, too. All kinds of silkscreen projects and making elaborate collages, and then he made, I guess, he copied the collages and translate them into flat color, which is going to then transfer into silkscreen prints. I mean, just trying to describe it doesn't do it justice at all, so I just, you know. The one thing that impressed me about Muth's work is whatever he did, he took it to the furthest degree anybody could take it, and he had all these different styles. So not only did he wear many hats, but he was better wearing each hat than anybody that wore that hat before or after, you know.
In those years, we shared a big basement room, and in high school, I remember, and I think into college a little bit even, we shared this big room. And I remember at one point during those years, Muth drew a white line down the middle of the room. This is your area, this is my area. You know? Don't step over that white line. And it was the beginning of his, you know, of his retreat and this isolation and, you know, becoming more and more reclusive as he grew older. And it all started with that white line. I was the one that drove him to it, right? And I'd be playing my records on my side, you know, turn it down, turn it down. What are you working on, Muth? Nah, I can't show you. He was always, you know, he's always thinking I was, well, he's sort of right, I guess. I was trying to copy him, but I couldn't copy him. But I would try. And he would always accuse me of stealing his ideas, you know, as if I could actually, you know, imitate his style. You know, my mother would be curious about what he was doing, and she would ask about his work, and maybe could he bring something up, she could hang it up on the wall. He wouldn't even let her go into the studio. He'd keep it locked. And he was very closed-mouthed about what he was doing.
I said when I came back here to work in the 60s, in the late 60s, I would occasionally run into Muth's mother at doings at the Sheldon or events at the Sheldon, and I always asked her how Muth was getting along, and she would say, "He's still in the basement." And she said it with a kind of scornful tone, and like she wished he was out of the basement, but obviously he wasn't out of the basement. He was still in the basement. But that was always her response whenever I saw her for years afterwards. So.